The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
TI Trust stands for True Integrity. One of our core values that we had for our staff was integrity.
We want to be seen as a very integrity-driven company.
We've been doing trust services as an organization since the 1950s. It's all based on what's in the best interest of the clients.
At the end of the day, it's about serving that client and getting to a result that they need.
Welcome to the Muddy River News Business Spotlight, brought to you by TI Trust. I'm David Adam. I'm the editor of Muddy River News, and joining me today are Todd and Trevor Friye, the co-owners and brothers of Bergman Nurseries out of 3715 North 12th in Quincy. I've known you two for a long time, so it's always good to see you, fellas.
It is.
Thanks for having us.
I was doing a little bit of research before we started talking here, and I found out that the business opened in 1939. Yep. With the Bergman family, and then your dad basically bought the business in 99. So I live out on off North 12th Street. You drive by your place, and it's the way it's looked for years. You know, you go by and get the topsoil and the rock and the mulch and all the things that you need for the garden or the landscaping that I do not very well around my home. It's all the stuff that the do-it-yourselfers need. Well, you guys have made a big change in regard to that. Explain what you've done, why it's happened, and what's going to happen going forward.
So, starting this year, the retail side, we're closing the retail side. And what that means is we're not going to grow flowers. That has been a big thing for years. We've had the greenhouse, we've had a grower. We've actually only really gone through 2 growers in the history of the company. So once they were there a long time. So we won't have that. And we won't really just be open for a customer to walk in Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 randomly. So that is a big change, for us going forward. We're going to try to accommodate our customers by doing by appointment only or special requests or customers that need some rock or mulch or topsoil.
Because the fact is that you need it. You need it for your other part of the business.
Correct.
So it's just that you're not just going to have an open retail center. But if I need a tree for my yard,
call us. Yes. So that's what we're going to allow customers to do. If they say, I need a Japanese maple to replace a dead one in my yard. You can call us. We'll give you a price on what we have. If it all works out, we'll set a time. You can come in. We'll meet you at a set time. We'll sell it to you. You take it home. You plant it.
Right.
So it will work just a little bit differently. That customer that realizes they need that, they jump in the car on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock and drive in to see what we have. That's where it'll be different because we need them to call us first because in the past, I've been in the garden center and helping customers. Now with the changes that we've made, I will be out doing sales calls and designs with our landscape guys, and so I won't necessarily be at the office 8 to 5. Right. So we ask for them to call that and make that appointment.
So in the last 10 years of your business, how much of it has been that retail side where you can come in and I can buy a flower, I can buy a tree or whatever, and how much of it is that landscaping and irrigation work that you're going to start focusing on? How much what were the percentages if only way I can think about that?
So the breakdown has been pretty consistent year over year, although we've gotten a little bit more in our retail sales, but really retail is only about 15% of our business. Yeah. The irrigation and landscape services predominantly is the bulk of our business and has been for a number of years.
So you worked at Bergman's before the family took it over, right?
Correct.
Did you work for, or were you too young, or did you work for Bergman's too?
I've worked there since I can remember. I mean, open house weekends, when I was 13, I was in there working.
Yeah. So how much has the business changed from when you were kids? Because the fact is that, Bergman's has been around for 60 years, but the model appears to be evolving is, I guess, the words I'm thinking of.
Things have changed a ton on the landscape side. I can speak more on the landscape side. That's what I normally do. But the landscape side, back in the late mid-90s, there was 3-man spray crews. It took 3 guys to do what we do now with 1 guy. It was no landscaping in the summertime, just trimming. Landscaping consisted of yews and burning bushes and lilacs. They didn't have all the plants we have nowadays. Everything has changed. Retaining walls. No one was really building retaining walls. You had some railroad tie walls, but a big part of our business is walls and pavers. It's just completely changed on that aspect. And then equipment. You had to have a lot of equipment to do those things. Back then you didn't have it. So there's a ton that's changed on the landscape side of things.
I understand. So now you're losing, and I made sure to write these guys' names down. John Nieders was your greenhouse manager for ever and ever and ever. And Keith Klusmeyer was your landscape designer who you'd had for 30 plus years. By closing the nursery, will you be able to expand your landscaping and irrigation business, or is it just like we're just going to focus in more on the landscaping and irrigation business?
It's more focusing in on it. I don't think expanding, but keeping it close to the same size. And it truly depends on employees. If we find good quality employees, then we can grow. But right now, everybody knows there's an employee shortage, and that's really what drives a ton of this. It really is.
Yeah.
There's other factors, obviously, but we're known for our quality. I am not going to send a person out there that doesn't know what they're doing to a customer's yard.
Right.
And we have to strive for quality. And if that means we run 3 crews, that's great. If I can find a couple more, knowledgeable people, we can run 5 crews. That's even better. But we're only going to do what we can handle and do right.
Now, you said you've always been in the landscaping and the commercial landscaping end of this. He's been running the retail center. Yep. So you're going to put him behind some big machinery now?
Well, let's not go that far. When Todd runs equipment breaks.
Yeah.
Our places that take care of stuff for us probably want him to run equipment. But no, we try to keep him off the equipment. But we're going to have Todd be the initial contact, meet with the customer, draw things up, see what they want, and then work through the process.
So before now, obviously, the nursery, like you said, was for the do-it-yourselfers, the people like me. Who are your customers in the commercial irrigation and landscaping business? The same type of people, or do you
Absolutely.
do more bigger businesses?
Our customers range from, the older folks that just want one shrub planted in their backyard to, big corporations, big commercial businesses, and anywhere in between. We will do any of that. I'd be happy to take care of the older customer that just can't do it anymore and wants us to plant it, all the way up to, I got a meeting this afternoon with architects and an owner of a property, and working through a landscape plan for future things. So, we'll do everything from small to big.
So when should somebody, I guess, when and why should they contact Bergman Nurseries?
So we always like to tell people to start planning ahead. A lot of times people have let's just say, for example, a graduation party, a wedding or something. Hey, I've got that this spring in late May. Well, if they wait until the 1st of April or the middle of April to make a phone call to start the sales process, chances are it's not going to get done before that timeline. So, now's not too early. We've got a number of sales calls that have been coming in over the last couple weeks. Although the weather's a little cold to get out, their name's in the hopper, so to speak. And so we know that we get a nice day, we can make a phone call, set up an appointment, go out and get everything started. Mm-hmm. Because depending on the project, the sales process can be short. If it's a small, hey, I need to redo the plants in the front of my house, all the way to, hey, right now, I haven't done anything in the backyard, but I want a patio and my ground falls off and I want to do a design around that. That's going to take a little bit more time. So Trevor can speak to that a little bit better, but the design software has come miles from when I did landscape design back when we bought the company in '99 and did designs in the Carthage, Hamilton, Keokuk, in that area for us. the software today is it's crazy.
So expand upon that a little bit, because it's sort of like, wow, you're using computer software to design my backyard.
Right. It helps. So the software we use, it can be used as a 3D software, and that helps a lot of people that can't visualize. I've always been good at visualizing things, but even with that, using the software, it really helps me with the design. I'm like, oh, I thought that was going to look good there, but it doesn't, and I can see it. I can see it right then. Right. It's not when we're actually installing the plant and I realize that didn't go there. So we measure up the house, take pictures of the house. It might be a drone photo of the house. We even have something called a U-level. You take that around the house. It measures the points. It measures the elevation. It all gets brought into the computer system, so we have the actual terrain of their property, so we know how big that retaining wall needs to be. We can see a problem before it ever arises because we realize this is how the slope is.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Just to hear the fact that it's so computerized now. When did that change really develop in your business?
The 3D software has been around for quite a while, but it took so much to do, and it still takes a lot to do it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the program we have now has really simplified it a lot. It still takes hours to do.
Yeah.
Depends on the house. Depends on the complexity of the house to get it right. But the U level with bringing the elevations, that's newer technology in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And that's huge. I mean, that was helping. Last year, we used it for a customer that wanted a pool in his backyard. Well, the pool company, here's the price for the pool, but they weren't thinking of the elevation change and everything else. That didn't affect them. That affects the landscaper that puts in the retaining wall that holds back that soil so it doesn't come in the pool.
Right.
Well, we shot all the elevations, figured out what elevation that pool needed to be at, knew how big the retaining wall needed to be, and it's all designed out. And it really helped the customer visualize exactly what their backyard looked like. Some of the fun parts, and I just had this one the other day, I come to a house and the front porch isn't finished. It's like, you know what, I'm going to finish the front porch for them. Won't take a minute, I got to do something with it. So as the homeowner's going through it, they catch that front porch is done. And they said, hey, can I take a picture of that real quick? I want to send that to my builder. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Now that's not what I'm here to do.
Right.
But it's just one of those fun things that I like to put on,
Sure.
and it happens more times than not. I put something extra on there, and it catches the customer's eye. Well, the house doesn't look like that, but I really like that front door. I really like that garage door. It's kind of funny, and it's kind of fun to do. But
and it happens with like sidewalks and driveways a lot.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, a lot of new houses, we can design the sidewalk, driveway, and make sure it's got good flow, and it flows in with the rest of the landscaping.
How has the community responded to the closing of the retail center since you've done that? What was it, just earlier this winter, right?
So responses have all been positive. They're not happy to see it happen.
Right.
They understand.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing.
Right.
Do they get it that, hey, we'll still help you.
Right.
We just don't have that person standing there, as you walk in to help you with every need. Just call me first.
I think that's been the resounding answer has been, we understand and we accept it.
Yeah.
We understand.
Yeah. Hey, fellas, it's been a pleasure to catch up with both of you. Can you still throw a curveball?
No.
No,
That arm shot.
My arm shot.
My arm shot too, so we're in the same boat. I've known these guys for a long time. Good guys, Todd and Trevor Friye out at Bergman Nurseries, and this has been the Muddy River News Business Spotlight brought to you by TI Trust.
TI Trust stands for True Integrity. One of our core values that we had for our staff was integrity.
We want to be seen as a very integrity-driven company.
We've been doing trust services as an organization since the 1950s. It's all based on what's in the best interest of the clients.
At the end of the day, it's about serving that client and getting to a result that they need.